Hey guys, how y'all doing? Today I want to talk about three things. I want to talk about investing into biostocks. I want to talk about an update on a couple of the stocks that we've talked about in previous videos. And then I want to talk about one or two other possible investments that I'm thinking about that I'm kind of excited about. So I guess first of all, let's talk about the biostocks and investing into biostocks. It's a little bit different than investing into big corporations. You're going to know that these companies are not going to be doing well financially. They're spending lots of money. It's all going out. And one of the things that we worry about is reverse stock splits. Investing too early into these companies puts you a little bit at risk for a reverse stock split. And you'll end up possibly seeming to lose a lot of money initially. At that time, most people would probably keep on putting more money into it if they really believe in the product. So that's one of the things that we worry about with bio stocks and these biotech stocks. I see most of the videos that I see on YouTube, they talk about these short-term gains and following the patterns and selling quickly. And I am more of the opinion that on these stocks, it's more for long-term gain. I mean, you want it as a capital gains and not just regular income. And if you wait for long-term gains, you'll probably do just as good or better because you'll be able to invest more money into it, kind of bring down the price of the stock possibly, and over time, possibly make a lot of money from some of these companies. So it's very important to choose very wisely, and that's why I've talked about looking at the studies, knowing the medicine, believing in the medicine and the products that they have that would be successful. And if you invest a little later into this company's phase 2 and phase 3, some of these companies are still trading at a very low price, and that allows you to put more money into these, possibly making more profit. So one of the reasons I like to invest into these companies is because I do like medicine. I am a doctor and I do look into these companies all the time. I look into new medications. I look into ways that we'll be able to help our patients in the future. And because of that, I think that it really interests me and spikes my interest into these things. But I do think that I want to maximize the amount of money I make, and even though that you can invest into bigger companies and invest into Apple and to Tesla and to all these other companies that have such great amount of stocks at a great price, you still run a risk of losing a large amount of money there. Here sometimes you lose, but the amount of money that you lose may not be as great. And the risk and the reward is probably a lot better sometimes. My goal is to actually make the profit here and then turn around and maybe invest into some of these other companies that are safer. But as long as I start and I continue to see medications that are good, I'm going to continue investing some portion of my profits into biotech stocks because that is the future of medicine. So the second thing is there is two stocks that we talked about before. A few days ago I talked about CRMD, Cormedics, and that it was going to continue to go up. Well, it's continued to go up quite a bit. It's up at about $2.26 now. It was just over the last year. You can look at the chart and see how much it's gone up. It's tremendous. But there's still time to invest into it because there's still a lot of room. The product is not approved yet by the FDA. I can only imagine that once it is approved and it looks like it's something that will be approved, the stock is going to boom. So if that's a stock that still interests you, still look into it a little bit more and see if that's the right stock for you, because I think you will make some profit off of this stock. And the second stock I want to talk about, which we talked about in a previous video as well, is OBMP. Now OBMP is an OTC stock and it's very inexpensive. It's probably like 2 cents right now, but it is in phase 2. The studies have been very promising. extremely good for what a phase 1 would be. And phase 2 is just starting up now. Hopefully by December they'll start that study, and we will see how that goes. Hopefully after that we'll see over the next year in 2019, see how we do with that stock. But that also seems very promising, which is a vaccine type of medicine for prostate cancer. So the last thing I want to talk about, there is a couple of stocks that are, I kind of revisited. I've looked up so many stocks that sometimes you forget what you look up, and you have to go back and look again and see what you've looked at, what you've seen, and how it's progressing. So there's a couple of stocks. So the first one is Diffusion Pharmaceuticals, DFFN, and that one I'm very excited about. I think that one is actually going to do very well. It's in phase 3 now, studying treatment in glioblastomas, which is a brain tumor, and some of those are inoperable, and it showed an increase in survival rates, 2-year survival rates, significant increase in survival rates in the second study in phase 2. So now it is in phase 3, and the trial, I think they're going to start enrolling this year in 2018 in January. It's going through probably 2019 of enrollment. Hopefully then we won't get results until 2021. So it's going to be a long-term investment. I do expect the stock price to go up and down a little bit as we get information, but this looks very promising. It is a chemical or a molecule that was invented that reoxygenates the tissue, which then allows the other medications, radiation or chemotherapy, to work better against the cancer. And now they're going to start studying into stroke victims to try to save some of the brain tissue, to reoxygenate the brain, which will be given in ambulances. So this is very exciting. I think that this is one molecule that is actually going to do very well. It seems like one that will be approved at some point down the road. But again, it's going to be a long term. I don't mind investing into this one now, and if it goes down in price, I will just invest more money into this as time goes on. And then hopefully we'll see a great profit from this one. So it gives us a few years to really invest into it. Now there is another a company called CLDX, which is CLDX. So this one is for cancer treatment, and it seems to be effective. It did fail one trial, however, it seems to be rather effective in some of the other trials that it's going through. I think on this one I'm going to wait and see how it does over the next few months before I put any money into it. I may just buy a share just to keep it on the list. If not, I may forget about it. But for now, I think I'm going to wait and see on this one. But I am definitely going to put in some money on DFFN and see how we do with that one. So overall, I think that talking about biotech stocks, I think is really important to know how to invest into these. And I think that the people that invest short term and make the profits do really good, and they're very good at what they do. However, I'm more of a long-term investor into these companies because I believe in the product, and I don't necessarily look at the trends of how the stock is going. I do buy more stocks if the price goes down, but I am not looking to sell quick. And so that's the kind of investing I like to do into these stocks. And I hope that you get something out of this conversation today, and hopefully I can bring you 1 or 2 stocks per week that will be of some interest to you, and we'll continue to talk. Take care, guys.